So welcome everybody to today's Empower People course, technology, which I just referenced by saying how Zoom changed its buttons, and how to ensure business continuity. And more times than not, business continuity relies on me, the user, using the technology correctly. Joe knows that all too well because I can be click happy. But thank you for joining the technology, how to ensure business continuity with us today with Mr. Joe Romello, or as I like to call him, In the Know Joe. So Joe, if you wouldn't mind going to our oath slide, and I will state the oath, and if everybody could repeat after me, if everyone could go on mute, because it's a little weird if everyone's saying the oath at the same time, doesn't come off well. Technology does not like that. I, Tiffany Joy Green, do solemnly swear to accept the lifelong obligation to hone my superhero powers and apply those superhero powers to the good of the people I serve. I will promote and add to the ongoing success of Empower People, its members, and the people, organizations, and communities it serves. I will help prepare the next generation of superheroes. I am driven to be a positive change agent for those I serve and interact with. And let's just take a moment and do superhero pose. Hands on the hips, elbows out, look up to the sky, and feel empowered. And now I'm going to pass the baton over to In the Know Joe.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to talk about business continuity today, and we're going to describe, since business continuity can cover a full spectrum that is way beyond technology, we're just going to talk about the business technology, what the risk is, how to mitigate that risk, and then open it up to any questions and answers. And feel free to raise your hand, talk in the chat, or interrupt at any point in time. This is for you. This is me. I'm a transformation consultant. I love trying to teach people. I've been working at Tiffany for years now. I think we're making progress, but we never know. And I'm a family first type. So if I depart midway in this, it's for a family situation. So let's define what business continuity is. The lights go out, you have a natural disaster, snowstorm comes in, hurricane, tornado, tsunami, depends on where you live in the world, or you are hospitalized, or your staff is hospitalized, or someone, God forbid, gets hit by a bus. Your business in today's world is 24/7. People will see your site. They will react to you. They will look for responses within a reasonable time. We do realize we're in a global economy. So if you're a US-based company and someone from Europe touches you or reaches out, they'll expect within 24 hours to get some sort of response. That 24 hours can broach a weekend. So it truly is 7 days a week that you're in business. And so the whole point of this is to discuss ways and methods that you can employ to overcome issues that make your business unavailable for whatever reason. And just as an anecdote, I'm sure that if you live in the US, you're aware of the issue that took down, I don't know, a third of the businesses in the United States a couple of months ago, caused by a nondescript company that runs cybersecurity. That's clearly out of your control, and we'll discuss the difference between the things you can control and those things you can't control. So what's business technology? It's any technology that you use to provide services to your customers, clients, or prospects. It can be seen or unseen. Clearly, right now, we're talking over the internet through Facebook. There are two technologies there that rely on effectively unseen services. You've got an internet provider, could be your cell phone, and you've got a hotspot. You could be in your house using internet provided to your house. You could be at a Starbucks using internet provided by Starbucks, or you could be in a company with internet provided by your company. That's unseen capability, but you need it to provide your services. So all those telephones, computers, payroll services, maps, CRM, email, on and on and on, that you rely on, that is critical for your business. Now, with the exception of telephones, internet, and computers, all this other stuff lives in the background. If it disappeared today, you could probably suffer through, still provide services. You may have to cobble together a payroll service. You may have to re-enter handwritten notes into your CRM. But certainly email is not a mission critical service. It certainly will have impact to you, but if you've got a website that has contact us, you're going to miss some things. But also put a phone number there, and then people can reach out to you. If they want to talk to you, they will find within reason a couple of different ways. I know I personally have made calls to England when I submitted a form and I didn't get a response within a day or two. Just make a phone call. You'll find out whether A, they still exist, or B, whether they're interested in picking up your call. Records retention. So in the United States, you have to worry about the tax man every year. So you need records. You can rely on paper records, invoices, payments, bills, etc. You have a credit card statement. Those things are published, thank God, by third parties. They're reasonably reliable, but if you need something for yesterday, it's not going to help you much. Working in an office or at home, those things are subject to disappearance, inability. I mean, if there's a flood or a hurricane comes through and takes all the power out in your neighborhood, you're pretty well isolated in today's society. Where your customers are can also impact what you can provide from a viable standpoint. All the stuff that we take for granted, you need to sit back and think about what if I didn't have it? That's what business continuity is altogether. So the risk is without customers, you don't get paid. So you need to find ways to reach out to your customers when some of these things are inevitably going to get in the way. And here are some of the things that I would suggest. Identify all the services that are technology based. 2 slides ago, we went through, it was payroll, it was email, it was connectivity to the internet. Find, secure, meaning obtain, contract, however you want to characterize it, and test them. 1 or 2 alternatives for all of the core technology that your services rely on. And I will tell you that the core services you provide anywhere in the world are probably done from a handful of technology-based devices. Your cell phone, your computer. Those 2 things connected to the internet can provide just about every service you provide, since I don't think we're talking to medical personnel. Lawyers certainly can do all of this over the phone. They do it regularly over the phone. But if you don't have to touch your clients physically, you're not a chiropractor, you're not a medical practitioner, you're not a paramedic, then effectively the rest of us in the world that don't do hands-on touch can provide services through a phone or through a computer or both. Let's take a look at an example. We're sitting here with Tiffany and Empower People, and she's providing, as evidence that we just discussed, she's providing these services of education to you today via the internet, via Facebook, via YouTube, via email. So her core services require an internet connection to be subscribed to by you, the client, and her, the provider, to effectively have that 2-way communication. So she needs to have at least the ability to have internet connectivity. That can be at her home, that can be at her office, that can be via a personal hotspot on a cell phone or cell phones. And she's projecting, so she needs a computer. She can have a desktop. She should have a backup laptop. Those 2 should be in sync. Test that every day. Use some of the cloud services for storage. Cloud services spend way more money than you ever could serve or spend or earn on cybersecurity alone. You think about the immensity of Amazon's web services. They are global in every sense of the word, physical as well as virtual. And if you don't think they're under constant threat and attack, you're deluding yourself. They are every day. Salesforce, Outlook email, Google Gmail, they are the subject of hackers because the enormity of cracking into some of those would provide billions of records of information that could then be sold, utilized, used for hacking, whatever. So some of these cloud-based services provide a lot more capability than just the service they provide. Google's Gmail, whether you use the paid subscription or the personal subscription, they have way more cybersecurity than you could ever amass from your company. So use the Google Drives, use the Dropboxes, use the other types of data shares because storage is cheap when you buy it from them. It's expensive when you buy it personally, and you don't benefit from the replication, duplication, and proximity and availability to touch anywhere in the world. So these are a list of what Tiffany uses every day to communicate. So let's look at risk mitigation. So power at the office. Pack up your stuff, drive somewhere else. You know when a storm's coming, get out of Dodge. Florida, when they had the hurricane 2 months ago, were given opportunities to drive. People drove north. People drove west. Can't drive too far east in Florida without hitting water again. But they went into Alabama and Mississippi and Missouri and New Orleans. And they went north to Georgia and the Carolinas. So if you sense that, then have a plan to get to an alternate location. Internet connectivity, that sort of travels with the storms. So if the physical infrastructure of the cell towers goes down, you're going to have a hardwired connection. So get one at home, get a hotspot, portable hotspot from one of your carriers or your cell phone if it's suitably equipped, but that travels with you. Computers. Tiffany, I'm sure, has a desktop. She had better have a laptop. The laptop is portable, the desktop isn't. Keep those two in sync. So make it a best practice that every night, if you have local files, upload them to the cloud so that you can grab them at any point, or replicate them if you want to keep them private across the two devices. Just think ahead and be smart about it. Make it a habit of practice. That way you didn't get caught stuck being out of the office when that one file that you happen to need is on your desktop. Telecommunications, cell phones are cheap. Mint Mobile is $15 a month. T-Mobile, $10 a line. Get one. It's a cheap alternative to one of the big carriers where you paying for your phone and everything else. Get a throwaway phone. Not to be a drug dealer, but get a throwaway phone. That's a second phone that will allow you to communicate. Email, like I said before, some of these global carriers, there is no alternative. But if Google's Gmail is down for you, it's down for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of others. Their entire revenue stream is based on that service being up. So you can be assured that they're focused on keeping your, as well as the millions of other emails available. Similarly with CRM. The CRMs that are in the cloud and local, you have to be very judicious about whether you have a local copy or a cloud-based copy. Cloud-based copies, again, you rely on the Salesforces of the world to maintain their infrastructure. And because that's a revenue stream for them, you can be assured that they pay attention to that. Because if it's down, they lose millions of dollars. So I don't care which one you use, but those are two where you clearly want to look towards the benefits of using a third party as opposed to, oh, I can mitigate risk by doing my own. You can't do your own email. You can't. You will be subject to these types of outages because they can't get to your local server. So for what it's worth, and there are probably others, but I think for Tiffany's business, if I look at it, the top three are the ones she needs to worry about. So observations, mitigate the risk that you can control. There are things that are out of your control. The power grid, clearly, you do not have the power, the authority, even with a portable generator, to overcome the grid in your region because the grid provides all the connectivity. SaaS services like email, CRM, payroll, HR, you can't replicate them, nor can you switch. However, if you can access them, they will be there more than you will be. So for those things in your control, and it should be, like I said, less than a handful, put together alternatives and test them. You don't want to be in the position of having that second phone in your pocket, opening it up and finding out you forgot to power it up. So be smart about this type of stuff. Just because you have a contingency, make sure you exercise it. In some cases, forego the desktop at home and use the laptop. That way you know it's got current information. So that when you pick it up and you drive to the Starbucks or wherever, you know that it's going to have the information you need. Common sense, practicality is what you need to mitigate the risk to your business. That's really all I had. I'm open to any questions you may have. Would welcome.
Well, thank you, Joe. What we're going to do now is we're going to end the Facebook Live. So all the folks on Facebook who are watching this course, if you're not yet a member of Empower People, you want to become a member, you see in the comments the link to join, which is free, empowerpeople.org/join. Go ahead and join so that way you can take part in the Q&A session. But until next time, we'll see you later, and let's evolve together.